Good morning to everyone. So I am academic counselor H. Biswas from UNO. Now today the fourth block, unit number 13 and 14, human resource management. So now unit number 13 is grievance handling and the discipline management and their procedures. And unit number 14 is unions and associations. Now in number 13, that is your basically the grievances rules. First of all, we try to understand what are the grievances rules and why it is happening in the industries. This is a common phenomenon nowadays. Main idea is to quality of life. The quality of life you have to improve so that in a very seamless way. And there should be environment should be your harmonious environment should be there. And another things grievance basically is related to your contract. Sometimes the employee are not happy with the contract during the contract period where the paper they are signing. And sometimes the work rule, what are the rules are there, but regulations which is not very friendly. And sometimes the grievance may arise because of the old practices, past practices, and some of the cultural norms are not effectively in the right way. And what are the wages are there that is not revised or not as per the market because of that. What are the bonus is also may not be appropriate as per the union. So there are so many things are there, and now management has to see. Management should start understanding the things. What are the problems behind it? What are the problems of the employees? Why they are not happy? Why this type of situation are coming by complaint or grievances? And to idea is to resolve the issues of the typically they should be resolved the things as early as possible. So because of that, how to achieve all these things? So that's why the manager should have should understand the problems of the employees, and manager should be educated enough, aware of all the rule and regulation of the standard practices, government rules, labor laws, all these things they should be aware, and they should communicate. Here actually the communication is one of the factors, because you have to communicate the employees with the supervisor, the workers, where the grievances or maybe the complaint may start. So you have to, that area has to be located and try to communicate the things so that any situations should not be occurred. This idea is. So maintain the well relationships, maintaining the favorable relations with the union also. You have to very, very cordial relations with the union also. As a manager, I'm talking about the in front. Suppose you are a manager, you are as in the HRM department. So how to deal with the workers and the subordinates. So effective grievance handling is an essential part. Now see if we that time of things are there. So it is now we can conclude in this way in this part when this type of things are occurring frequently. So we have to take care about the situation, how to handle the things. So that's why you have to cultivate. You have to cultivate the good relations. Some productive workplace should be maintained. And two-way path communications is also required to build up the relations. Because two-way path is required because if somebody is saying and allow to others also to reply the things. So that is the two-way path communications. Then only you can come across where the points easily you can survey, you can point it out the problems, individual problems, and solve it. So this is basically the interaction part of these things or the grievances. Now see the uh, as we know that our working life implies to get the discipline. Normally the grievances coming from the dissatisfactions with the various aspects of the working, maybe with the attitude of the manager, and maybe the policy of the company is not good. As I say, the working conditions, the behavior of the colleagues also. Sometimes the behavior of the colleagues are also disturbing, irritating, not good relation with the bosses and as well the manager also. So employees try to ignore the suppress grievances. Now to see in what are dissatisfactions, complaint and dissatisfactions. It is basically a disturb the employee's mind always, whereas this unrest expressed in words sometimes. Now coming, suppose it has happened also. Some of the companies they have a good policies and they have a good workplace also. Even though dissatisfaction is also there, even in the wages also good. So it is a human nature sometimes that you have to identify. That I will come in my subsequent slides that I will explain. The type of people, behavioral is one of the point is there. The complaint may be spoken or written dissatisfactions. It is brought to the attentions of the supervisors or the shop stewards. Grievance a complaint that has been formally presented to a management representative or to a union officials. So grievance normally sometimes the complaint may be directly presented to the management or maybe through the unions. Now grievances can be uncovered in a number of ways. Gossip and the deviance that offer the vital clues about the employees' grievances. Then there are some of the boxes, red boxes are there. Open door policies is one of the important part. Through this way also we can redress the grievances. Periodic interviews. Through this way also exit the survey could also be undertaken to uncover the mystery of the surrounding the grievances. But this some of the methods are there. The open door policy methods. This is by through the observations, grievance procedures, gearboxes, and exit interview. There are some of the methods are there. Now, different form of the grievances. The grievance may be taken into following some of the forms are there. One is the factuals. The factual grievances arises when the legitimate needs of the employees remain unfulfilled, or delay implementations. Because of that, sometimes the grievances may arise. Imaginary. Some of the grievances may be imaginary. It is not in the factuals. When an employee's dissatisfaction is not because of any valid reasons, but because of a wrong perceptions, wrong attitudes, or wrong information he has. That's why I just, before that, just now I say that sometimes everything is okay. Still, human behaviors, he is unsatisfied. he is not happy. It's just imagining all the things. He has anticipated the some of the things. It may happen. It may be maybe after 6 months. I may not. I may be dropped. And my promotion will not be there. Maybe next year I will be transferred. So a lot of things are in a negative aspect. It is surrounding the mind. Some of the imaginary part is there. It may not be happen, but still, it is because of his upbringing, what the way he has, his culture and other things uh, maybe the reasons because of that. So though the management is not at fault in such instances, still it has cleared the fog immediately. Another thing is disgust. A employee may have dissatisfaction for reasons that are unknown to himself. You also don't know. Sometimes maybe the seniors are asking to the subordinate, what happened? Why you are behaving like this way? Maybe he's answering and it's not a correct way. He is also don't know why he is angry, why he is behaving this like this. So it has happened. Sometimes the stress, maybe the other factors are playing their mind. So because of that, it may be affecting the organization also. Sometimes the economic conditions also is one of the stress point. Wage fixations, then overtime, bonus, wage revisions, etc. It is the employees may feel that they are paid less when they are compared to the others. It has also sometimes happened because of that also. The grievances has come slowly. The union can have a meeting and they have to jointly present their agenda to the management. So we are not getting this much money, this is salary, this much facilities where other companies are giving. So that type of things are there. So one of the reasons is your economy. Now, present scenario is the work environment. That is very important. Because the poor physical conditions of the workplace and the tight production norms, the schedules, you have to do it. By these 15 days, you have to productions, you have to show your productions. Otherwise, your salary will be deducted. Maybe you will be sacked from the company. It's a lot of tight schedules are all sometimes overloaded the people. It is coming in the always in the mind. I may or may not be, my service may not be, and maybe terminated. So that work environment is very important. Defective tools sometimes and the equipment also. Pressure is there, but the machine is old. But you have to have you have to perform. You have to perform, you have to give the productions. Even though you have complained so many times, you have requested to your seniors. The machine has already the maintenance time, service time is nearby. There is no AMC, annual maintenance is not there. What you will do? Machine has sometimes stuck up. So grievances are maybe so many reasons. It may come from any directions. That's why the poor quality of materials, unfair rules, lack of recognitions, because every time you are working but you are not getting any appreciations. So maybe this is one of the reasons. So people can feel angry or dissatisfied sometimes. Supervision. Supervision is another important because related to the attitudes of the supervisor towards the employee, such as perceived notion or bias. Some of the maybe it has happened also because you are a boss, you are a manager, where you are already segmented, even just isolated way. You are just only few people are you are dealing. Every day you are talking, but in other people you are not ignoring sometimes. So that may create a problem. Biasing the things, favoritisms. Maybe you are nominated for somebody for the special training. Others who's really fit for this training, who is really eligible for this training, you are not nominated. That is also create some of the complaint in the mind. Favoritisms, nepotisms, caste affiliations, regional feelings. These all are the reasons. This is a part of the supervisions. So that is some of the reasons behind it. The grievances are there. Work group. Employee is unable to adjust with these colleagues. That is another reason. That's why always he has distress mind. He is not happy with the groups. He is always complaining in the boss. Sir, I will not work from there. Please change my duties to other groups. Please switch over to other groups. To transfer me some. So that type of things are there. Suffer from feelings of the neglect because sometimes the employees will feel I am neglected. Last 1 month or 15 days, my boss is not communicating with me. He is not inquiring what I am doing or something. He is not giving any appreciation. There is no thank you. So that it is also a feeling, some neglect feelings. Victimizations and becomes an object of the ridicule and humiliations. Humiliations is another important part. So all are the basic reasons the occur, why the grievances occur in the mind. Number of reasons are there. Now, 4 key features of a grievance handling procedure. There are some of the handling procedures are there, which are discussed. That is one of the fairness, facilities for representations. That is the representations is one of the key features. Then steps, procedural steps. The steps should be limited to 3. That should not be very 4, 5, 6. Basically, the steps mean in the sense, suppose you are given a complaint, something in irritants, in your supervisors, in your immediate boss. Suppose I am a worker and employee in this company, I have some complaint and I am written to, or verbally I am saying to my seniors. He is saying, okay, I understand, but I'm not the authority. I cannot, I have to take a permission, I have to take approval from the seniors. So he is just forwarded to his next levels. After that, the next level again he is sending to another levels. Finally, it will go reach to the HRM in the grievance levels. If there are some steps or more, levels are more, so definitely it will take a long time, and it may be chances of prolonged, meaning the grievance may not be sorted out in the long run. If it is 3 months or 4 months or 5 months, then definitely it will create the panic in the mind. Suppose I have applied, I don't know, maybe I will be fit up. I don't know, my complaint has been registered or not. My complaint has been seen by seniors or not. They are ready to do this something or not. That type of things are coming in the mind. See, it will affect in the workers, day-to-day work results. Suppose I am applied. If it is within a month or within 7 days or 10 days, the solution has come. Whatever it is, yes, no, or something. Somehow you can adjust, your mind can be set up, basically. And if it is not there, it is, you don't know what will happen. So by the time, maybe you will try to discuss with the other colleagues also. Everybody will start thinking, somebody has already applied, but is not so far, just not decided. So if I give some complaint, my case is also same. So that way the procedures will be hampered at the system, and totally it will be chaos. All the employees will start thinking the handling procedures are not satisfactory. So it may create some discussion point along with the employees, and anxiety will be increased, and because of that, stress, conflict, everything will be remain. So chances are, so that's why The steps, as per the norms, it should be limited by the virtue of by the past experiences people are decided. As per the law also, the limit should be maximum 3 levels. That should be 3 levels, so that uh, procedure should be simplified and result can come very fast. Promptness, another thing. Promptness is needed to avoid the bitterness and the frustrations. As I say, if it is delayed, so the employee may disturb. He cannot work perfectly. His quality will be deteriorated, and in turns, he cannot meet his objectives, and company profitability will affect your effectiveness also, and the company's losses. So, keeping in view, basically these 4 key points are very important when you are handling the procedures: fairness, facilities, procedural steps, and promptness. Now, grievance handling procedure, in short, it is GHP. Some of the essential prerequisites of a grievance handling procedures. Some of the things are required. As a grievance handling manager, he should have some conformity is required. Unambiguity, simplicity, promptness, training. And training as such, there are some follow-up. This some of the basic things are required. The discipline is the regulation. Now coming to the regulations, the discipline. Why this linking? Because disciplines are also one of the part of your these procedures. Is the regulations and the modulation of the human activities. Because if you have it on discipline, so definitely other things will be streamlined. The procedure control performance will be highly appreciated. The real purpose of the discipline is quite simple. It is to encourage the employees to conform to established standards of the job performance, and to believe and to behave the sensible and safely at work. So that you have to have it follow. Basically, you have to follow all the norms. Discipline is basically it is essential to organizational good actions. Others, everybody will start as per their own way. They can do this as per their own way. That's why the discipline are required. So it is a regulation and modulation of the human activities to procedure a controlled performance. The real purpose of the discipline is quite simple. It is to encourage the people to conform the established standards. You have to establish some of the standards of the job performance and to behave the sensibly and define the work. Now, disciplinary action procedure. To start with, the base on any misconduct committed by the employee or the company, or suppose he has complained something, a preliminary inquiry is called for. So first things, you have to preliminary inquiry is required. Just like a judicial systems or first information system report as a FIR, same things. First things, preliminary inquiry is required. When somebody has complained, definitely you have to have a inquiry first. And then some of the following authorities are to initiate the actions. And then you can nominate, you can make a committee for that to start these things. So some of the authorities are laid down by the organizations for various level of the employee. That your disciplinary authority, then your appellate authorities, reviewing authority, and some of the stages of the disciplinary procedures. First things you have to allot, you have to give a responsibility and authority of the body or the committee members or those who are in particular department. Then defense case written briefed by the PO and DE inquiry reports submissions of the report to the DA decisions. These all are the procedure systems. And disciplinary authority. Then if something penalty is there, that something are decisions maker. The decisions has to be decided. It should be a censor way. Withholding of the promotions. Suppose actions may be taken, demotion or something. If it is a very adverse case, it is not advisable, but somehow you have to keep in mind and to harmony and to motivate to the sincere peoples, those who are working hard. To motivate them, we have to have some disciplinary rules, some punishment rules. Punishment is sometimes you have to develop the particular victimize who is the persons, and same time you have to give a signals, give a indication to the so the everybody should have a good persons. So that's why sometimes punishment is required. Reduction to the lower stage, then reduction in the rank, then removal of the services, dismissal, industrial dispute. There are so many things are there. Since everything should be maintained in the should be stipulated in the procedures nicely and different with the justifications, because not only the thing with the justifications, so that it should make a rule. Then there are two kinds of punishment. Now, punishment is also some of the minor punishment levels. Another is your warning for the censures. Suppose you have to give some warning, first notice, you can serve a notice or warning. Or sometimes you can take some fine or token of you can have a fine or something, keeping the provisions for Section 8 of the Payment and Wages Act in view of these things. It is as per the Payment Wages Act, so you can have the provisions are there. You can take some, suppose for example, somebody has created some of the violated the rules, violation of the rules or something. So maybe, or it has been found out he has just manipulated some of the money or something. That case you can deduct from his salary as an EMI system, installment systems. For the coming 3 months or 4 months, you can deduct the monies from the salary. If it is established, some based on the complaint or based on the grievances by the others, it has established JK, yes, he has already been done. It can be possible. So there are so many minor levels are there. Major punishment is very dangerous. In that case, if it is found out the density, the degree of your indiscipline, I mean the degree of your what you have done the wrong things. So accordingly, you have to have it. So decided some of the major punishment of all these things. Again, by the committee, by the board of the authorities also, they have decided by the discussion or by the discussions it can be founded. Demotions. This is one of the very rare cases when the situation are not tolerable or it cannot be continued. They have to take a chance for that also. That second thought should not come in the mind. Dismissal, a letter communicating the order, because dismissals is, before the dismissals you have to communicate to the employee based on this, it has been concluded, it has been decided. So because they should have get a chance to reply or represent the things. So straightaway you cannot terminate, or there's a rule is there. You have to have given some notice periods, maybe 1 month notice, or maybe the 15 days or 2 month notice. You have to give a notice for that, so that you can take it by the time you can realize the things, or if anything is wrong. You suppose maybe sometimes what the committee has decided, somewhere the loopholes are there maybe. So that employee can have a chance to reply, defend the things. So the chance you have to give it before issuing the final order, dismissal order. Now coming to our unions and associations. So here actually another part is trade unions. You see the trade unions again, again the view of the employees' good health, mental happiness, well-beings, everything are by the major duty of the unions. And there are associations. What are the associations are there? There are some executive associations, supervisor association, and worker association. There are so many levels are there. Mostly in the factories and industry, there are unions are basically they take care of their employees and the factory workers. So trade union has been formed accordingly for the employees or the employer also, both the way, or independent workers also. So it is a relatively permanent information. Earlier, because of the because that time there is no rule about the 8 hours duty or something. So management cannot be manipulated, cannot be exploit the exploitation. To stop the exploitations, the union has formed. They have to see the benefit of the employees and altogether welfare of the employees. So some of the functions of the trade unions. Main objectives of the unions, trade unions should be, they have to see the benefit, see the good for their families and including things. All the employees should be happy, and definitely they have to build up some of the relations with the management also, because union representative, the union leaders basically nowadays is politically biased, but even though they should have a good relations with the management, because trade union leaders are an interface of the total scenario, because they are directly with the workers and the employees. At the same time, they are interacting with the management also. That's why some of the good relations has to be built up by the trade unions. If the relationship is not good, or if the conflict between the trade unions and the management, then definitely it will not a good health of the company. The unhealthy situations. So for healthy atmospheres, to create a healthy atmospheres, so union's role is very important. Now, protective or the intra-mutual functions. That's why the trade union function is, they should have some mutual functions. Intra, even sometimes there are maybe within the organizations there are 2-3 unions are there, trade unions. There are 2-3 companies are there. So within the unions also, they should have a good relations, integrity should be there. And after that, they should have a good relation with the management. So when the decision or any bonus or gratuity or the pay packages, annual increment, whatever it is, any benefits, when it will be discussed in the table, within the table, there should not be any conflict within the unions. So that's why all the unions should have be integrated first. They should have a good relation with the inter-relations. And apart from that, they should have a good relation with management. Otherwise, it has happened also sometimes when the discussion is going on. There are 3 or 4 unions. 2 unions are agreed, some of the points, and other 1 union is opposing the things. They are not agreeing. Maybe they have to walk out from the rooms. They are not participate the meetings also sometimes. So it will affect overall effect in the company. Management sometimes they can control all the things. So union leaders are have a focus on these things, that if you really want to help the employees of the company, help the organizations, and to see the growth of the companies, so they should have a good integrations and they should have a good relations also. And to that, in the when they are in the meetings, both it will be win-win situations. Unions, whatever the things they can really aggressively, and they can put their points in together. So management will be in patience sometimes. If the unions are not in a good relations, then that may be affecting the meeting or some finally maybe it not be resolved. That things are to be disputed that times. And some of the companies, the management is taking the advantage also. There's some politics also is going on. Sometimes the management is happy with the union should not be joined because they have to give pressure to the management. So there are something is vice versa everywhere. Something are there, but idea is management and the union both. They should have a responsibility. They have to see overall idea is to healthy atmospheres to create. There shouldn't be any grievances, no conflict, and all the employees happy enough. Political function is also important because trade unions should not be biased with the politicals. If the political intervention is there, then that time it will be diluted. The employees' benefits may be compromised because all the politics parties, they have to, political leaders, they are taking their own way. They have to what are the benefits from their angles, they have to consider it. They don't see, sometimes they are not considering the management side or maybe the sometimes things. So it may create sometimes problems. So political function is also important. So that, as you know, a lot of companies are dismantled because of that. They have to change their factory to other, they have to relocate the company, sometimes in other states also. So the political issues are sometimes create a very grave situations that has to be avoided as far as possible. Then social function is also important because the employee are after the office they have to stay in their colonies or in the area also. So there that is also to be affected sometimes uh, in the part of the company also. So these all are the basic functions of the trade unions. They have to see their workers, their families are okay or not, they are in the socially they are also good or not, that part also they have to respond to. Now objectives of the I already cover up some of the things. Specifically the objectives of the trade unions. First thing, the wages and the salaries. They have to see it is really affordable or not. Really the employees are cover up the things or not. Their purchasing capacity is enough. Then your working conditions is also important. Where they are working, their lighting, sitting arrangements, cleanness, hygienic or not. So all these aspects, the medical facilities are there or not. So this is the things. Overall working conditions is one of the point. Discipline, that is one of the objectives. Standards. Personal policies, welfare is important. Then employee or employee relations. This is one of the objectives. All the trade unions, they should develop their relation to the management. But as and when it is required any demand, very smoothly they can function, they can claim their things over the points very pleasantly. They can present it very cordial way so that the management can very easily agree with these things. So relations sometimes create a better opportunity. Negotiating machineries, they should have a good enough to negotiate the things. They should not be very adamant. There should not be ego. I mean, suppose there are 10 agenda points. So out of that, maybe the 7 or 8 points are already agreed by the management. They should feel happy at least, okay, at least out of 10, 7 points has now discussed and it is agreed 3 points. It may be postponed or maybe in the next meeting or sometimes. So that is the way you have to compromise some other things. This is called the negotiations. You have to negotiate some of one of the very important points. If the trade union always focus on the employees' benefit only, and they're not focusing on the industry's interest or the health of the organization, they are not focusing, then it will vary. So that type of differentiation should not be there. Otherwise, the gap will be increased more rather than closures. So health is a prime duty because nowadays after the COVID-19, then everybody are very aware of all these things. So health is very important. There should be the insurance schemes there or not, any that type of schemes are there or not. That is very much important. If it is not there, you have to give a claim to the management. So organizational health and the interest of the industries are that should be safeguarded. It is the major objectives of the trade unions. Now, role of a trade union. Sectional bargainers, white collar unions, etc. There's one of the then your class bargainers, because bargaining capacity is also one important part. The unions representing the interest of the class as well as your France Agricultural Unions, the Federation of the Unions, civil servant union. There's so many classes are defined. Agent of the state as the USSR is ensuring the target of the production at fixed price. These are some of the things. The railway strike, as you know, then INTUC stood behind the government and this isn't. They are actually just clipping some of the points so that you can familiar with the type of the what type of role of theirs. Partners of the social control, their coordinations, co-determinants in the Germany. There are so many cases and examples there. And that's why it has formed actually all these things because of the internationally also given the union's role, which can be termed as the enemies of the economic systems, driven by the political ideologies, then the business compulsions, then leftist unions. There are so many things are happening in the world to evolve scenario. So finally, we have reached here, but present scenario is totally different nowadays. The role of the unions are more important as before. So, and now business-oriented role is very important. Here, actually, this role is very important. Here, the union consider the interest of the organizations. And another part is union should have a change agent. They should work as a change agent. If anything new project is coming, or maybe for the benefit of the companies, or for the future growth of the companies, or how for the implementation, when the project goes, any project implementation is very important. So during the implementations, to give a directions or part of that type of program movement maybe. So union and involvement inclusions are very important. So union can have a change agent, right way they can do it. Whatever the company's idea, strategy, or what are the objectives of the company, they can convey, they can advertise, they can provoke to the employees also. They can advocate to the employees also. In other way also, okay, if we participate in these things, if we do these things, company will flourish, company profit will be there. And in turn, we will also get a good bonus, a profit, production link here, incentives can be achieved. So that is the way the union leaders, union can be convinced to the workers and their fellow colleagues, should have a participate in this program, should not object the things. So this is the way. If first they have to realize the things, what the management is saying. So management, whatever the things are to be in the near future. So whatever the strategic planning are there, management should be discussed with the union leaders also, because they should also sit together jointly. They can also be part of their strategy program, and they should also feel something responsibility, and in turns they can convey to their workers also. I know management, what the management is doing. They can give some confidence. So ultimately, their future, everybody will be benefited, company will be good. So that type of scenario or atmosphere have to create. So that change agent, union can be worked as a change agent. Now the classification based on the ideology. The different ideology is there. So that has to be classified. The revolutionary unions believe in the distractions of the existing social systems, because that type of union, they always believe distractions, because those are revolutionary unions. Revolutions are required. So creation a new one, they are always think everything, all the systems is very corrupted or things are not good. So better remove all the things and go for a new ones. So that is another type of revolutionary things. They want shift in power of the authority and use the force. This is basically the left unions ideologies like this. They have to try to change all these things. They are so that we monopoly or that type of one-man show should not be there. Equally distributed all the things. Some people will be raised very fast, some people will be poorer, other are richer. That gap should be reduced. Basically, that type of philosophy, ideology are there in the left science. They have to see equally, everybody should be raised in a very equal way. So get the facilities for everybody. That type of things. Then reformists, the welfare unions, that is the another type of unions are there. They work for the changes and reforms within the existing social political frameworks of the society. That is the European model, because in the European model, they have to start their reform. They have to reform the things within the structures. How best we can do it. That's why they have to put their money or invest it on this way on. Work for changes and reforms so that the social political framework can be. So because of the, so that is another ideology classifications, and discussing here the classifications. And there is uplift unions. So there are so many classifications are there. Then in All India Trade Unions Congress, as we know, there is some history. I think need not to explain everything. As we know, there are so many union movement was there, 1914, when the All India Trade Unions Congress, that is AITUC, was formed. Then there, as we know, there is a delegation of the International Labour Organizations, ILO. So then AITUC is held in October 1914 at Bombay, and under the presidency of the Lala Lajpat Rai. This is some of the history behind it. Then the formation of AITUC led to the establishment of All India Railways Federations in 1922. Many company relations are affiliated. Then basically the militant tendency, then and the revolutionary ideas, and apparent during the this period. Now talking about some of the Trade Union Act 1926, because all these things are to be regulated by this act. Even everything are written in the act. The Trade Union Act basically is the central law which regulate the working of the unions, does not have any provision for the recognitions of the trade unions. Employers' organizations are formal groups of the employers set up to defend and represent or the advise affiliated employers and to strengthen their positions in society at large with respect to labor matters as distinct from the economic matters. So here actually some of the act is there, even different subsections also there within the act also. So all these subsections also to be considered during the implementation of the in the industry. Some of the challenges. Now, what are the future challenge? Here actually I have to discuss and highlight some of the things. The employees are not only the individualistics, but also not a homogeneous class. So conflict of the Swadesi versus Videshi as a pre-independent era. The public-private debate in post-independence era. Now, you see things has changes. Now there's actually we have a different idea right now. We have to develop the things. Individualistic idea are very important. So you have to develop some of the things. What are the existing things as handloom, our power looms? So Swadeshi is very important because that way we can generate the revenue also. We can save the revenue. We do not the export. We do not import the items from the others. So we have some independent things. Before that, earlier it was like this. Now the post independence, we have to lot of changes as there, and we have to achieve all these things. So it is a greater continuity in the leadership, BFI, and the AIO. So questions, I think now this is the way we have to block all the blocks we have completed now. And I can, in the next sessions, I have to review all the blocks. There are 4 blocks. In the next session, I will discuss about the block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, all the blocks important part. And I will try to give you some of the case studies also. And some of the question answers as to what type of questions are normally coming in the exams. So from the exam point of view, that I will discuss in the next session, the next Thursday. That means about 26 June. 26 June, and that session is very important. That time I have to review all the blocks, and as well as I have to discuss some of the case studies and some of the question answer also. So this is the way. Here in these chapters, I think some of the questions are there. That is your workers participation. Okay, grievance. What are the forms of grievances? So what are the forms of the grievances that we have already discussed? Then highlight the classifications. Highlight the classification and the causes of the grievances with illustrations. So in the last time, the December 2024, the question has already came from these chapters and these units. That's the grievances and the classification of the grievances, and you have to highlight the things. So this is just I'm discussing because the type of question you should know what type of questions are normally coming in the exams. So okay, thank you very much.